have told you we will be our ultimate aim. So once again, good morning, friends. We are studying the statistical part of knowing the maximum value of the flood with the help of the frequency analysis. Friends, in our day-to-day activity and also in certain phenomena, maybe scientific phenomena, there are two types of the processes that takes place. The first is the deterministic process. I will be trying to explain you the importance of statistics in hydrological analysis. I will repeat, friends. Sometimes a short note is asked on this. Okay, two things. First is the importance of statistics in hydrological analysis, or the importance of frequency analysis. Okay, almost they are parallel. The basic thing are parallel. Only in frequency analysis you have to write down about the frequency, what is frequency and how its analysis helps in finding the maximum value of the flood. Very simple. Don't take it as difficult. Okay. So these are the two things I wanted to emphasize from exam point of view also. So in our nature or, surrounding us, two types of the phenomena or processes takes place. One is the deterministic process and the another is the random process, or you can say non-deterministic process. Okay. In deterministic process, the effect of that process and the cause of the process, there is a definite relation between these two. I will explain you with the help of the example. Okay, just you try to understand. Deterministic process have a definite relation between the cause and the effect. Okay, the outcome of the process can be exactly predicted or calculated. Okay, factors affecting the processes are 100% known. Just for example, the sun gives the light to the all the uh, all the planets and as well as to the earth. The velocity of light is fixed. By knowing the distance, or now we have known the distance between sun and the earth and the time that has taken by the sun ray from sun to earth, if it is known, then the distance divided by time will give you the velocity. Or if you know the velocity, then you can find out exactly the time. This is one of the example of the deterministic process. Like another example we can have, you are learning the fluid mechanics. If you have the head of the water, that is depth of water available, maybe in container or in the flowing water, if you have the head knowing, then you can find out the velocity exactly. The velocity will not change. Maybe flow through the orifice, or maybe flow open channel flow, or maybe flow through the pipe. Velocity v is given by square root 2gh. So if you have the value of the head h, that is the depth of water which is causing the flow, then you can find out the velocity. And that velocity value, if you verify with the help of any instrument, then you will find that the calculated value exactly tallies with the value that has been observed by the equipment or by the instrument. Okay, so these processes are called as the deterministic process. Okay, so if you have the head, you can find out the velocity. Similarly, the declination of the sun, the time of the sunset and sunrise on any day can be uniquely predicted in advance. Okay, by knowing the revolution of the earth, by knowing the rotation of the earth around the sun, all these are the exact things which we can predict. So these are called as the deterministic processes. But sometimes there are another types of the processes. They are the random process, probabilistic process, or the random phenomena, like the processes in hydrology. Some cases there is an element of uncertainty or unpredictability regarding the outcome. Okay, means as the examples given earlier, there are such numerous examples which we can predict exactly, we can calculate exactly that these are the this is the cause, these are the reasons, or these are the various values. From these values we can find out the outcome. But there are certain phenomena or the processes wherein you cannot exactly predict the outcome, unpredictability regarding the outcome. Under the identical conditions, the outcome of the process is different during different observations. Just we are moving ahead regarding the processes which come under hydrological phenomena, hydrological cycle, you can say. That is the evaporation, the transpiration, the precipitation, infiltration. Though the conditions may be same, the atmospheric pressure may be same, the humidity may be same, the temperature may be same, the coolness may be same, the saturation vapor pressure may be same on the different time, at different time, but the precipitation may not be same. यानी ये सब चीजें सरीकी रहने के बाद भी यदि हम कोई भी 2 दिन लेते हैं और दोनों दिन में तापमान सरीका है, एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर सरीका है, और बाकी सब वेपर प्रेशर सरीका, एवरीथिंग इज सेम, लेकिन बरसात अलग अलग इंटेंसिटी की आ सकती है भाई, प्रेसिपिटेशन अलग अलग हो सकता है. ओके, so these are called as the random processes, probabilistic processes, or the random phenomena, because there are certain causes, there are certain reasons beyond our knowledge. यानी ये जो 4-5 चीजें मैंने बोला, एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर, वेपर प्रेशर, मॉइस्चर डेंसिटी, cool temperature, wind velocity, all these may be same, but the outcome may be different. Okay, the rainfall or the precipitation may be different, because we don't know there are certain other causes beyond these known causes. Therefore we cannot predict exactly the outcome. Such processes are called as the random processes. They are also called as the probabilistic processes. They are also called as the random phenomena. Okay, very important. For example, though the average weather conditions are same from year to year, the yearly rainfall at a given place is not same every year, and it cannot be predicted uniquely, है ना. हर साल क्या होता है कि जो मेट्रोलॉजिकल या वेदर डिपार्टमेंट है वो मानसून आने के पहले प्रेडिक्ट करता है कि भाई ये सब देखते हुए इस बार मानसून अच्छा रहेगा, अबोव एवरेज रहेगा, बिलो एवरेज रहेगा, एफिशिएंट रहेगा, थोड़ा सा उसके आगे पीछे हो जाता है, लेकिन एग्जैक्टली नहीं होता है। ठीक है, सो सच प्रोसेसेस आर कॉल्ड एज दी प्रोबेबिलिटी प्रोसेसेस और द रैंडम प्रोसेस। लेकिन अभी हम, वी बीइंग द इंजीनियर, वी वांट टू डिजाइन द स्ट्रक्चर्स, सो वी शुड नो the values of the floods in advance. So how, what to do then? So therefore we have to take the help of the mathematical one part that is called as the statistics. Okay, ये undeterministic or probabilistic or random processes के reasons being not knowing, all the causative factors means which gives results are not known, not have enough data about the initial conditions of the process, or so many the unpredictable causative factors that calculations of their combined effect is not possible or feasible. There may be some indeterminacy in the problem. Okay? Therefore, such processes are then treated as the random process, probability process, or the random phenomena, where it is impossible to find out the deterministic relationship between causative factors and the corresponding effects. ठीक है, यानी ये 5-6 फैक्टर यदि मालूम है तो ऐसा कोई हम इक्वेशन फॉर्म नहीं कर सकते कि ये टेम्परेचर है, ये एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर है, और ये सब करके बस इतनी बारिश पक के आएगी। नो, दीज आर नॉट, दिस इज नॉट पॉसिबल, क्योंकि वो बारिश के ऊपर तो फिर रन ऑफ है, और रन ऑफ तो और बहुत फैक्टर के ऊपर डिपेंड है, आपको मालूम है, फैक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग रन ऑफ। ओके, so we cannot say that 100% these are the things, then 100% this will be flood. So therefore we have to take the help of the statistics. So instead of treating the process as the chance phenomena, यानी इसको हम ऐसे चांस से भी नहीं ले सकते कि बस टक्का मार दिया और इतना बारिश आएगी वगैरह, ऐसा हमको कोई तो भी साइंटिफिक सपोर्ट भी लेना पड़ेगा ये कैलकुलेट करने के लिए। तो इसलिए हमें क्या करना पड़ता है, वी हैव टू टेक द हेल्प ऑफ द प्रोबेबिलिटी लॉ। वंस वी हैव एस्टिमेटेड और वंस वी हैव फाउंड आउट ए कोरिलेशन by probability, by statistical methods between the rainfall and all these parameters, then we can uh, again forecast, not 100% आएगा ही ऐसा नहीं, but we can forecast to 80%, 90% correctness. So therefore one probability law is needed to be found out or is needed to be derived. वो क्या है हम आगे देखते जाते हैं, लेकिन हमें समझना क्या है, यूज ऑफ द स्टैटिस्टिक्स इन हाइड्रोलॉजिकल एनालिसिस, व्हाई स्टैटिस्टिक्स इज टेकन हेल्प ऑफ टू सॉल्व द हाइड्रोलॉजिकल रिजल्ट्स। ओके, so the probability theory can be used to derive the probabilities of the complex events and the statistical averages. ठीक है, most of the hydrologic processes such as the precipitation, runoff, evaporation, etc. are all random processes, are all the probability processes. They cannot be exactly worked out. Therefore probability and statistics are essentially required to analyze and interpret the observed past data of such processes. ठीक है, so therefore for forecasting in future, for forecasting the rainfall or runoff in future, the help of the probability or the statistics, that is the part of the mathematics, are taken to analyze. Based on what? काय को analyze करेंगे? Observed old data, past data, to interpret the forecasted rainfall or runoff figures. ओके, मुझे लगता है सबके ध्यान में आ गया है। और इसके लिए अब आगे में आप अभी ये तो बताया मैंने स्टैटिस्टिक्स क्या क्या है। तो इसको आप ऐड कर सकते हैं बाद में, यदि कभी आपको पूछा कि राइट ए शॉर्ट नोट ऑन फ्रीक्वेंसी एनालिसिस। So by using the probability and statistics law, the frequency of occurrence of any flood is being found out, and using that frequency, the extrapolated flood values are calculated by certain statistical formula. ऐसा आप बोल सकते हैं frequency analysis के लिए, ठीक है? With this, we will move on to certain terms of the statistics which you might have learned earlier. But friends, try to understand these things from the point of view of hydrology and from the point of view of what I have been telling you since beginning, that we are trying to find out the forecasted figure from the past data available. Past data is important. Okay, that data, past data of what, maybe of the rainfall, है ना, पिछले 50 साल का ईयरली रेनफॉल, पिछले 50 साल का मंथली रेनफॉल, पिछले 50 साल का डेली रेनफॉल, सब हमारा मेट्रोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट के पास में अवेलेबल रहता है। ये सब इसको बोलेंगे डाटा, आजकल के आपके कंप्यूटर के लैंग्वेज, इट इज कॉल्ड एज द डाटा। ओके, so this data is called as the population. This data is known as the population. Okay, in statistics, means population is, in statistics, the whole collection of the objects, in our terms, the past record, the past data under consideration, maybe finite or infinite collection, maybe 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or maybe 100 years, 150 years, infinite collection. Includes complete set of values that the object under consideration has taken in the part or can will take in future. ठीक है, मुझे लगता है कि आपके ध्यान में पॉपुलेशन यानी क्या है आया है। ठीक है, इट इज नथिंग बट द ईयरली डाटा। फ्रॉम दिस पॉपुलेशन वी कैन टेक सम पार्ट फॉर आवर स्टडी। हमारे पास में पिछले 200 साल का डाटा है, तो हम 50 साल का जो हमें चाहिए जिसमें मैक्सिमम फ्लड वैल्यूज है वो हम ले सकते हैं। ठीक है, दैट डाटा is called as the sample. So sample is a subpopulation drawn from a larger population. What is sample? है ना, हम बोलते हैं ये सैंपल, किसी का ब्लड सैंपल रहता है तो ये तो सैंपल यानी in our case, in our statistical term, sample is a subpopulation, that is, you can say subset, sub part of the data available from the larger population, from the larger data. The size of the sample is number of unit it contains. Okay, the size of the sample, यानी sample में कितने साल का डाटा है, is the number of unit it contains, यानी 50 साल का है, 20 साल का है, that is called पीछे from the past 100 years, from past 150 years, from past 200 years, जो भी past का हमारे पास में डाटा है उसमें का हम थोड़ा यदि ले लेते हैं कैलकुलेशन के लिए, प्रोबेबिलिटी और स्टैटिस्टिकल स्टडी के लिए, तो उसको सैंपल बोलते हैं। सो इट इज ए रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन। इंपॉर्टेंट कंक्लूजन्स अबाउट द पॉपुलेशन कैन बी ड्रॉन फ्रॉम एनालिसिस ऑफ दिस सैंपल। ठीक है, जो हमारे पास में डाटा है उसके ऊपर में हमें जो फोरकास्ट करना है वो हम ये सैंपल लेके भी उस पर से फोरकास्ट कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, इसको बोलते हैं सैंपल। रैंडम सैंपल, when every unit in the population has an equal chance of being chosen, the sample is called as the random sample. ठीक है, पूरे सैंपल में से कहीं भी कौन सा भी पार्ट हमने ले लिया रैंडमली तो उसको रैंडम सैंपल बोलते हैं। when every unit in the population has an equal chance of being chosen, the sample is called as the random sample. वेरिएबल, आपको मालूम है मैथमेटिक्स में भी वेरिएबल यानी क्या है? Variable represents one or more characteristics of a segment of population. जैसे रेनफॉल का डाटा है हमारे पास में, the rainfall value varies from year to year. Okay, so the value, we can say that the value of the rainfall is variable. The which is not constant is called as the variable, which varies. So it has at least one property which can be measured and numerically defined. For example, rain intensity, that is rainfall intensity, it varies from time to time. Rate of evaporation, stream discharge, है ना, नदी में से जो पानी बहता है वो हर सेकंड में बदलते रहता है, वो कोई कांस्टेंट थोड़ी रहता है। जैसे एखादे पाइप में से पानी बह रहा है तो ठीक है, पाइप का प्रेशर, उसके ऊपर जो प्रेशर है वो है, तो पाइप का डिस्चार्ज कांस्टेंट तो भी रहेगा, इतना वैरी नहीं रहेगा। लेकिन द डिस्चार्ज थ्रू द स्ट्रीम, the rainfall intensity, duration, or the rate of evaporation, these are all variables. But only terms evaporation, rainfall, runoff, etc. are hydrologic phenomena. Okay? So therefore, how it is applicable to hydrology, that we are more in our interest. The variables are again subdivided into two parts: continuous variable, discrete variable. So continuous variable can be measured along a continuous scale. Continuously, the values with time, with duration, the values goes on changing, like the discharge of the stream. ठीक है, इसको बोलेंगे continuous variable. Also depth of rainfall is a continuous variable. Discrete है ना, मराठी में उसको तुटक करके बोलते हैं, break होके, is one which can be counted. For example, number of the rainy days in a week or month is a discrete variable. So two variables variate. The value of variable is called as the variate. In hydrology, the variates like rainfall, annual peak, minimum flow, temperature, atmospheric pressure, all these are all variables. Rainfall, flood, minimum flow, the atmospheric pressure, saturation pressure, these are the variables, but its values at certain time are the variates. Okay, the magnitude of the variable is called as the variate. An array is an arrangement of the raw numerical data in ascending and descending order of magnitude. This is very important. Okay, you might have learnt somewhere in your computer programming. आपके कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा मुझे मालूम, C++ वगैरह, उसमें भी array word आता है, और सिमिलर है बिल्कुल। An array is an arrangement of raw numerical data. जो भी हमारे पास में डाटा अवेलेबल है, आगे में मैं एक टेबल में बताने वाला हूँ, और मैंने पहले यूनिट में शायद बताया भी है आपको, उसको असेंडिंग यानी बढ़ते बढ़ते, या डिसेंडिंग यानी वैल्यू कम होते होते, ऐसे में अरेंज किया तो उसको एरे करके बोलते हैं। ठीक है, रेंज ऑफ द डाटा मीन्स द जैसे फ्लड है, the flood values from 10 क्यूमेक्स टू 500 क्यूमेक्स, इसके बीच में की जो भी वैल्यू है, और वो जो ड्यूरेशन का हमारे पास में, उसको रेंज ऑफ द डाटा बोलेंगे। द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द लार्जेस्ट एंड द स्मॉलेस्ट नंबर इज कॉल्ड एज द रेंज ऑफ द डाटा। टाइम सीरीज, it is the sequence of the values arranged in order of their occurrence. Now we are entering into important part, friends. Please concentrate more on this. If during this discussion, if it is in your notes, no problem. If it is not, if you could either take screenshot, or it is also available later on as a video lecture. But these tables I will be arranging in next slides, either in ascending or descending order, and trying to understand you the various probability terms, which I have already tried to explain you in our unit 1, I think, that frequency, return period, probability of occurrence, etc. Okay, so friends, this is one of the term is time series, that is the sequence of the values arranged in the order of their occurrence. यानी जैसे ये these are the 10 years data of certain discharge or the runoff in the stream. This is the 10 year. In 2008, the runoff or the discharge in the stream is 150 cumex. In 2009, it is 225, and so on. Okay. So here you can see the values are varying. The minimum value I appear it's 95, and the maximum is 425, and in between the values are there. So 95 and 425 is the range of the data. This is the time series. Okay. Now what I have done, this is what I have shown you earlier. Now for the remaining part of this statistical term, which we'll be discussing one by one, I have tried to show it in this table. What I have done, I have taken this data and arranged this data in descending order. Means 425 is at the top, the second lowest, the third lowest, fourth, fifth, and the maximum lowest. So in descending order I have arranged. Now here the question of year does not come. Okay, the year may be in series or may not be in series, because we are giving more importance to these discharges. So what I have done, I have arranged these discharges in descending order. Okay, in probability study, in statistics, we arrange the data, either rainfall or maybe runoff. We arrange the data that is available with us in the descending order always. Okay, so in the descending order they are arranged. Now the return period or the recurrence interval is equal to the total numbers 10, that is, it is yearly data. So therefore 10 years divided by its serial number first, 1 year. So this 425 cumex of the flood, what does it shows? That this 420 recurrence interval, I am trying to explain you the recurrence interval or the return period, which we will discuss again later on. But in one table you will understand it better. So the return period, or it is also called as the recurrence period. There are various formulas we have discussed earlier, Weibull formula, etc. But we will be discussing later on also. So the total number of the observations, if it is in consecutive year, 10 years, divided by its serial number 1 is the return period, 10. So what does this show? That this 425 cumex of the flood will occur once in 10 years. That 1, its serial number, or 10 divided by 10. Okay, it is called as the frequency of occurrence. Okay, it is called as the frequency of occurrence. That is the return period, inverse of the return period, 1 by t. If we show it by t, then 1 by t is called as the frequency. It is also called as the probability. Okay, it is called as the frequency of occurrence. It is also called as the probability of occurrence. So the 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 1 divided by 10 is 0.1 probability. If it is shown in percentage, so 0.1 multiplied by 100 is 10%. So what all these four figures shows? The first return period shows that this 425 cumex of the flood will occur once in 10 years. Okay. That doesn't mean, I will again repeat that I have also earlier explained you, that doesn't mean it will occur after exactly 10 years. It will occur definitely. It is, we are taking the help of the probability statistics. So this 425 may occur in future once in 10 years, at least once in 10 years. Unfortunately it may occur for 2 also, लेकिन एक बार तो जरूर होगा. और उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी जो है उसको 1 डिवाइडेड बाय 10, इट इज शोन बाय 0.1. The sum of all the probability is always 1. Also keep this in mind. And the probability, if it is shown in percentages, then 0.1 multiplied by 100 is 10. The meaning is the probability of occurrence of this event, or the chances of happening of this event of 425 QMX is 10% only. In the same way, 387, it's 20%. The return period is 5 years. Means this 387 QMX of the discharge or the runoff or the flood may occur 2 times in the 10 years, or in every 5 years it will occur once. The frequency of occurrence in 10 years is 2. Okay. So why 2? Because 10 divided by 5 is 2. 10 divided by this 10 by 3. Okay. So therefore 3.33. In the same way, this is the frequency of occurrence. In the same way, the probabilities are worked out. In the same way, the percentage. Now we will come to the last. The last or the lowest discharge is 95 QMax. So its return period is 1 year. What does this show? The return period 1 year means every year there are 100% chances that 95 QMax of discharge will definitely come. Okay? And again the frequency of occurrence is 10. यानी 10 साल में 10 बार तो जरूर इतना फ्लड आएगा ही. वैसे ही प्रोबेबिलिटी एक है. One probability means 100% chances of occurrence of this event. In our case, flood. Okay. This table is very important. First, understand the things. Now the frequency will, as I have told you from the table. Now this is recapitulated from that table. Is the number of occurrence of an item in the sample, in our case the flood sample, also called as absolute frequency. Its definition: frequency is the number of occurrences of an atom in the sample, also called as absolute frequency. In our last data, the chances or the number of occurrence of the discharges less than 100 QMax. Less than 100 QMax is 1. Okay, frequency means every year the 100 QMax of the less than 100 QMax of the discharge will occur. So the probability is 1 by 10. Okay. In the same way, 100 to 200 QMax. From that table again, we can see that the discharges of occurring 100 to 200 QMax is two times, means every 5 years it will occur. 200 to 300, frequency is 4, means in 4 years once this will occur. 300 to 401, and greater than 400 it is 1. Okay, means 400 से ज्यादा फ्लड आने के चांसेस 10 साल में एक बार है. 300 से 400 आने के 2 बार है. 200 से 300 आने के 4 बार है. 100 से 200 आने के 2 बार है. एंड लेस देन 100 ये आने के चांसेस 10 साल में पूरे है. फॉर द मीन्स दो द फ्रीक्वेंसी हैज शोन वंस, but the probability is 100%. Okay, the probability of occurrence. So you can see the summation of the probability is 1. So probability, it is also called as the relative frequency, is the number of occurrences of a variate. Number of occurrences of the variate divided by the total number of the occurrences, it is designated by P. The total probability for all variate is always equal to 1. The probability cannot be less than 0 and cannot be more than 1. The probability less than 0 means that event will never occur. Okay, वो होगा ही नहीं. 0 के कम रहेगी नहीं और 1 से ज्यादा भी नहीं रहेगी, है ना. 100% चांसेस से और कोई चांसेस नहीं रहेगी. Probability of 0 means an impossible event. whereas probability of 1 means sure event, 100% event. For example, there are 10 variates of stream discharge values with discharge ranging as shown in this table. Such data, such collection of the data is also called as the grouped data. Now we will move it further. We have this table wherein the frequency and probability has been written here. Okay. So if we plot a graph between the variate value, variate again in our terms the discharges, the various discharges, so and a graph of this variate versus the frequency of occurrence. If we plot such graph, this is called as the frequency distribution curve. Very important. Okay, how the frequency is distributed, frequency of occurrence. So it is a pattern of distribution graph obtained by plotting the number of occurrences or the frequency against the variate as abscissa. Okay, various values of the variable, that is less than 100, the frequency is 1, 100 to 200, 100 to 200, the frequency is 2. Okay, 200 to 300, the frequency is 4. So in this way, if we plot the graph and if we smoothen the curve, this curve is called as the frequency distribution curve, and the graph joining the straight line is called as the frequency polygon. And if we plot it tabularly or in this rectangle form, it is called as the histogram. Okay, so frequency distribution curve, very simple, which denotes how the frequency of occurrences of certain events are distributed. Frequency distributed can be plotted as block values or point values, means these block values or the point values here 1.2.345 or the rectangular blocks with class marks as abscissa, this abscissa, and absolute relative percentage frequency as ordinate. If the adjacent points are joined by the straight lines means in this way, then it is called as the polygon. Straight line से join करते हैं तो, यदि स्मूथ कर्व से करते हैं तो इसको फ्रीक्वेंसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कर्व बोलते हैं, और यदि हम ये ऐसे बॉक्स फॉर्म में करते हैं तो इसे हिस्टोग्राम करके बोलते हैं. ये हमें क्यों चाहिए ये? Because we want to implement this frequency distribution curve to find out the frequency of occurrence of the maximum flood. Okay, therefore based on these values we may find a correlation between the frequency of occurrence and the variable value to extrapolate the for how much frequency or for how much return period we want the values. Okay, so therefore we are trying to understand as the frequency distribution curve, we can plot the probability distribution curve also. It is the pattern of the distribution obtained by plotting the relative frequency, that is the probability, against the variate value. Against the variate value, it is called as the probability distribution curve. Okay, the ordinates of the frequency distribution and the corresponding probability distribution curve are in proportionate. Because the frequency is 1, it is 0.1. This is 2, it is 0.2. Okay, in this way the frequencies are varying. The frequencies are varying. They are in round figures, but these are in fraction figures. So what has been said, they are in the proportion. The graph pattern may be same. In the same way, this frequency study can be also shown by the graph by cumulative or mass frequency diagram. यानी ये प्रोबेबिलिटी और द रिलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी की क्यूमुलेटिव हम स्टडी करते, टोटल करते जाते हैं। जैसे 0.1 है, फिर ये 0.2 है, तो 0.1 प्लस 0.2 इज 0.3, 0.3 प्लस 0.4 is 0.7, and if we plot all these cumulative values against the magnitude of the variate, then the graph will be like this. Such graph is called as the cumulative or mass frequency diagram, wherein the cumulative probability values are shown there. So cumulative or mass frequency diagram, as has been shown here, represents the probability that the random variable has a value equal to or less than certain assigned value, say x. Then the cumulative probability is designated as probability of occurrence of, say, 150 qmax discharge. Probability of occurrence, say, 150 qmax discharge less than or equal to जो हमारे पास में वेरिएट की वैल्यू है. If we want the probability of occurrence other than the variate value, then we can find out from this graph. That is the significance of this graph. Therefore, also from this we can find out the probability of non-occurrence, which can be probability of the occurrence of certain discharge greater than the known discharge, which will be 1 minus probability of occurrence of certain discharge less than the known value. So these are again certain probability terms. It is plotted on the probability table with certain log type the table, because the values are of very fraction, as well as the magnitude of the discharge are large. So the log table is being used. For example, if there are 50 observations, यानी हमारे पास में 50 साल के ऑब्जर्वेशन है, which form ungrouped sample, जैसे अभी हमने देखा कि ग्रुप सैंपल जो है, तो 50 ऑब्जर्वेशन है जो अनग्रुप सैंपल है. If observation has same probability, that is 1/50, 2%. अनग्रुप्ड है यानी वो कोई सीरियल ऑर्डर में नहीं है, लेकिन 50 ऑब्जर्वेशन है हमारे पास, तो हर इवेंट या हर फ्लड आने के चांसेस 1/50 है, यानी 2% है. Now, if this data is arranged in, say, descending order of the magnitude, the smallest value will have a cumulative relative frequency of exceedance 100%. ठीक है, जैसे हमने अभी आगे के टेबल में और देखेंगे कि स्मॉलेस्ट वैल्यू जो है, जो हमने वो लास्ट टेबल में देखा था 95 क्यूमेक्स की, द चांसेस ऑफ ऑकरेंस ऑफ दैट डिस्चार्ज, that is the cumulative relative frequency of exceedance equal to or greater than that value x, small x, is 100%. उससे थोड़ा ज्यादा जो डिस्चार्ज है, नेक्स्ट स्मॉलेस्ट विल हैव 98%, क्योंकि वो 50 साल का डाटा है, तो हर साल का 2% होता है. 1/50 बोला तो 1/50 into 100 will be 2%. So next, the occurrence of the chances of the flood, which is more than the lowest value, will be less by 2% of the 100%, that is 98%. और ऐसे ऐसे हम फर्स्ट वैल्यू तक आएंगे, तो फर्स्ट वैल्यू विल बी 1/50, that is the 2%, that is the maximum value, and so on, and it will end with 2% for the maximum observed value. तो सबसे ज्यादा जो वैल्यू होगी उसके ऑकर होने के चांसेस 2% है, ऐसा हमें ये स्टडी बताता है. इसके विपरीत, अपोजिट टू दिस, कॉन्वर्सली, सिंस ऑल सैंपल ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैज वैल्यूज इक्वल और लेस देन द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू, सबसे बड़े वैल्यू हमारे पास में जो डाटा है 50 साल का, उसमें जो वैल्यूज है उसमें से एक वैल्यू सबसे बड़ी की बड़े वैल्यू के इतनी है, लेकिन वो बड़ी वैल्यू और बाकी भी 50 वैल्यूज आर आइदर वी कैन से आर इक्वल टू और लेस देन द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. All values have the values equal to or less than the maximum value, that is less than or equal to. In first case it is greater than or equal to the maximum value. We can assign the maximum value a cumulative relative frequency of non exceedance 100%. जैसे यहाँ पे हमने एक्सीडेंस की 100% असाइन किया था प्रोबेबिलिटी लोएस्ट वैल्यू को, लेकिन अभी सबसे बड़ी जो वैल्यू है इसको हम 100% प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस नहीं होने की, यानी जो सबसे बड़ा डिस्चार्ज है वो अगले 50 साल में होगा ही नहीं, तो उसको प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस बोलेंगे. और ये पहले जो स्टडी किया है, जो लोएस्ट वैल्यू है, जो लोएस्ट वैल्यू एक्सीड होने के चांसेस 100% है, तो देयरफॉर वी कैन से दैट द क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस, एक्सीड होना यानी बढ़ना या क्रॉस होना, ये 100% है. तो ये थोड़ा सा अभी आपको समझने में थोड़ी हो सकता है थोड़ी बहुत दिक्कत होगी, क्योंकि प्रोबेबिलिटिकल ये है, मैथमेटिकल है, लेकिन आप धीरे धीरे समझते जाइए या नोट्स को भी रेफर कीजिए. फिर से मैं आपको वो अपने पुराने टेबल की तरफ ही ले जाता हूं. ये सब कॉलम तो मैंने आपको समझा दिए थे. अब ये प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस जो हम बोल रहे थे अभी, जो इसके पीछे के इसमें ये जो पहला पैराग्राफ है प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस, और दूसरा पैराग्राफ है प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस, यानी नहीं होने के चांसेस. सो द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस ऑफ 425 क्यूमेक्स डिस्चार्ज इन द नेक्स्ट 10 ईयर्स, हमारे पास में 10 साल का डाटा है, इज 10%, यानी 10% ही चांसेस है अगले 10 साल में 425 क्यूमेक्स का डिस्चार्ज आने के, फ्लड आने के. लेकिन 95 क्यूमेक्स का फ्लड आने के लिए प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस इज 100%. सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस और प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस. ऐसे ही हम प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस बोल सकते हैं, यानी चांसेस ऑफ नहीं होने के चांसेस है ना, जैसे होने के चांसेस 100% है, वैसे नहीं होने के चांसेस भी 100% हो सकते हैं ना. तो 425 क्यूमेक्स से डिस्चार्ज ज्यादा नहीं होने के चांसेस 100% है, उसको बोलते हैं प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस. ठीक है, वही टेबल को हमने फिर से, ये इतना पार्ट वैसा ही है, सिर्फ अभी आखिरी कॉलम जो है द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस, क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ नॉन एक्सीडेंस is 100% for 425 क्यूमेक्स एंड इज 10% फॉर 95 क्यूमेक्स, यानी नहीं होने के चांसेस 95 क्यूमेक्स के 10% है, लेकिन होने के चांसेस 100% है, जो पिछला टेबल है. प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एक्सीडेंस इज 100%, but probability of non-exceedance is 10%. Friends, please try to understand these things. Okay. Now, again, what we have seen earlier, that we will again try to understand, and then we may take the break. Recurrence interval or the return period is the average interval in years between the events which equal or exceed a given magnitude designated by letter T. Okay. We have seen in our earlier that tabular form, the return period or the recurrence interval. It is the average interval in years between events which equal or exceed a given magnitude, okay, designated by letter T. For example, a flood which can be expected to occur on an average once every 50 years is called as the 50 years flood. यानी जो मैक्सिमम वैल्यू है वो 50 साल में एक बार आती है ना. हमारे पास में यदि 50 साल का डाटा है और उसको डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में हमने लिखा, तो डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में पहले नंबर पे आएगा मैक्सिमम वैल्यू. सो द चांसेस ऑफ ऑकरेंस ऑफ दैट मैक्सिमम वैल्यू इज 10%. दैट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी इज 10%. द फ्रीक्वेंसी इज 1 because 1 in 10, 1 in 50. Okay, frequency is 2%, 0.2. बट द रिटर्न पीरियड इज 50 years, यानी 50 साल में एक बार वो फ्लड आएगा, मैक्सिमम फ्लड। ऐसा नहीं है कि 50 साल के बाद में ही आएगा, एक बार आया तो, लेकिन 50 साल में एक बार आएगा, क्योंकि हम क्या कर रहे हैं, वी आर ट्राइंग टू प्रेडिक्ट द फ्यूचर विद द हेल्प ऑफ द स्टैटिस्टिक्स। दैट डजंट मीन that it will 100% happen, but this will help us to further finding out the flood values and again for the design of this structures. So the return PR we are trying to understand, it is the average interval between the events which equal or exceed. For example, ये हमने देखा, the concept of the period does not mean that जो ही मैंने बोला कि of any given magnitude will occur at constant, even approximately constant interval of n years. It only indicates the average frequency of occurrence, यानी उतने साल बाद ही आएगा ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Say in a longer period of 1000 years, यानी समझो ये 50 साल का हमारे पास में डाटा है, तो हम 1000 साल का यदि हमें चाहिए तो हम ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि 1000 साल में ऐसा फ्लड, क्योंकि वो 50 साल में एक बार आता है, तो 1000 साल में वो 20 बार आएगा. ठीक है. सो से इन लॉन्ग पीरियड 20 floods, that is 1000 by 50 of equal or larger than 50 years flood may occur. Such floods may occur at any interval of time, regular or even in consecutive years. ठीक है. So the cumulative probability is the inverse of the return period. We have seen the return period is found out, then the inverse 1 by t is the cumulative probability. If the hydrologic variable like the flood equal to or greater than, if certain value of the flood, the occurrence of that flood value either equal to or greater than certain variate occurs once in 80 years, then we can say the probability of, we can write it in this way, the probability of occurrence of that value greater than or equal to x is equal to 1 in t years. Okay, 1 in that total years, once in those years, 10 years, if we say that. Or probably means if we see that earlier table we have learned, that 10 years table, then the last value 95 cumex, if then we can say the values less than or the values greater than 95 cumex or 425 cumex, if you say maximum value is 425. So for the probability of occurrence of 426 cumex greater than or equal to 425 is equal to 1 in 10 years. 10 साल में एक बार आएगा. तो वो, so therefore that it is written as 1 by t, 1 by 10. That is 0.1. We have shown in that table probability of occurrence. So probability of occurrence of certain value greater than or equal to the variate, the fixed value, is 1 by t. Okay, 1 by the return period, where x is the hydrologic variable and x is the selected magnitude, that is the variate. T is the return period, recurrence interval, and P is the probability. The above equation can be generalized as probability of occurrence of certain variable, that is the flood in our case, greater than or equal to the known variate is equal to 1 by t. Okay. M is the serial number of that variable, यानी पहला दूसरा तीसरा कौन सा है, m डिवाइडेड बाय n. पहला यदि है तो 1 डिवाइडेड बाय 10, दूसरा है तो 2 by 10, तीसरा है तो 3 by 10, है ना. जो हमने देखा है वही ये लिखा है. Where m is the rank or the order of the event if arranged in descending magnitude, and n is the total number of the sample, in our case annual floods. This also we have learnt earlier. Various empirical formula for calculating the return period t. There are various formulas. These are shown in this table: the California formula, Hazen formula, Weibull formula, Bernard and the Boss-Levenge formula. These are the various formula, statistical formulas. But the most commonly used formula is Weibull formula. That is, return period T is equal to 1 n plus 1. N is the total number of the observations. N plus 1 divided by n. Therefore, probability is in 1 by T, inverse of the return period. Therefore, M divided by n plus 1. Okay, I have tried to again show you the same table. जो हमने अभी समझा उसको ही फिर से आपको बताने का ट्राई किया है. ये जैसे हमारे पास में पिछले 10 साल का डाटा है ना, फ्रॉम से पिछले है ना 2008 से 2017 तक का डाटा है ब्लड्स का. इसको हमने डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में अरेंज किया. वी हैव अरेंज्ड दैट डाटा इन द डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर. देन द रिटर्न पीरियड is equal to the the total number of the years, the total number of the observations n divided by 1, n by m, that is equal to the 10 years. Return period is the 10 years. The frequency of occurrence is once. This occurs once in the 10 years. This occurs two times in the. This means 335 डिस्चार्ज आने के चांसेस, क्योंकि 335 से ज्यादा ही हुआ है, 335 इक्वल और ग्रेटर देन 335 has occurred 3 times. Therefore, the frequency or the chances of the occurrence is 3. Again, in the same way, same logic, return period we have found out here, and inverse of the return period 1 by t is the probability of occurrence. Okay, therefore m by n by m is the return period. So m by n will be the probability of occurrence, and if it is multiplied by 100, then it is the percentage probability of occurrence. So here we will take the break. Next time we will move forward.